And welcome to Alexandria, Louisiana. We're at Grace Christian School off of Jackson Street for the Night of Champions for Grace Christian, where we're going to acknowledge and recognize some state champions that we've had from Grace Christian in the spring sports. What a beautiful night it is. Appreciate everybody being out here. I'm joined by Coach Joe Morrow and Principal Dr. Steve Moore. I appreciate you guys being here. Coach Morrow, I know you've been here for a number of years, but I'm not going to say how many years.
That's all right.
But Coach Morrow is the assistant principal here at Grace, and is also the athletic advisor, to the administration advisor, which is new to you. You were the athletic director for a number of years. Dr. Steve Moore is our new principal. Has been here a couple of years, and appreciate it. Guys, let's talk about this group of young athletes. Coach Morrow, talk about, let's start with the track athletes, and then we'll talk about the softball athletes.
Okay. I'd like to thank Coach Gresham and his staff this year. I think they've started bringing the track program back together from where it used to be years ago when we were a state power. They've won as you can see to my right, or right in front of me, I'm sorry, won both boys and girls district championship. We had a state champion in the Javelin with Tucker McCoy. We had Audrey Tarver, state champion in the hurdles. Ava Gio was one throw from being third at the state meet, and I think both of our teams were in the top 14 at the state meet, which from where we've come to where we are is pretty remarkable.
Yep. And Dr. Moore, let's talk about these student athletes. What these student athletes and these athletic programs mean to Grace Christian.
Well, for a small school, we've had really an impressive number of championships and playoffs and successful seasons. We started off early with cross country. We really built our program around that, and soccer. And then one by one, we added sports, and we're successful in those. We really have a good track team, a good baseball team. We have good girls and fellows soccer, and just really brings a lot of notoriety to the school from an academic or a development viewpoint. I think it really helps, young people to be involved in competitive athletics, to learn the disciplines, to be under a coach. It just helps in the all-around development of the student. So we're really proud of our program, been very successful, and it's really due to these coaches. We've had exceptional coaches that have made exceptional commitments, and as a result, we've developed really good competitive athletic teams.
So, Coach Morrow, a lot of your background in athletics, I know you're a football coach, but a lot of your background was in cross country and track and field. And, of course, I know you coached, my boys whenever they came through here as well. But talk about track and field and talk about what the determination and the dedication it takes to win a state championship, not only just an individual one, but to compete at that level. Let's talk about what that takes.
Well, track and field is a unique sport in that ultimately you win a team championship, but it's also an extremely individual opportunity because you do individual events. You don't have to rely on someone else. So it's a lot of pressure on that individual because they can't make an excuse that the team didn't have a good performance or whatever. It falls back on you. So, that's where I think you build a lot of character. I've always been one that believes that sports are one of the most fascinating and fantastic things a young person can do because it teaches you how to handle failures, how to handle success, and how to deal with adversity. And those are all things you'll face later in life. So I certainly believe that, athletics, track and field is just something that will work for you for the rest of your life. Yeah. And I don't know if you want me to mention our two state champions, sure. But I'll start with Tucker. He's only been throwing the javelin 15 months, and he is a state runner-up, a state champion. By the way, folks, the Southland Conference just finished their conference meet. Tucker would have been fourth in the Southland Conference. The Sun Belt Conference, where he'll be competing, he's going to be going to Louisiana Tech, he would have finished third. So I've got to compliment him for that. I can't take all the credit for it. Tucker is eating up with the javelin, I'm just telling y'all. He's eating up with it. Lyle Guillory, a guy that I used to coach that was a NCAA All-American, 252-foot thrower, work with Tucker too. He's going to be going out to Oregon here shortly to compete in a national competition, and then on to Louisiana Tech. Audrey is a remarkable young lady, extremely hard worker. They came to me early this year and asked me about the hurdles, and I said I really don't work as much as I used to with individual people, but I do work some. If I was going to do it every day, I'd go back and start coaching full time, but I still enjoy it. I love doing it. So I put her in touch with a good friend of mine, Shelley Warren, who is a longtime coach in this area. To me, one of the best coaches in Central Louisiana. And at the state meet, and by the way, Shelley also, Menard's girls won the state championship this year, and she worked with a lot of those kids, so I give her a lot of credit with that. But anyway, Audrey started out the year, and Audrey is not the fastest person in the world, although she does have good speed, but her technique was remarkable. She learned how to three-step the hurdles, whereas her competition was four-stepping. And she'll be the first to tell you she did not get a good start at the state meet. In fact, she was probably in last place at the start. But by the fifth hurdle, she was in first place because she three-stepped them when her opponents were four-stepping them, ended up winning it going away. And I just love Ava, I always have. I coached her daddy, and don't hold that against me, but Boomer was a good athlete in high school himself. But Ava probably in her career didn't get to throw the javelin in practice maybe 20 times. And yet she was one throw from being an all-state athlete in the javelin. So I congratulate all of them, wish them well in their futures, and I love coaching any sport, but track and field and cross country.
Your kids and a lot of his friends were involved with a lot of the cross country, state, a lot of very competitive soccer. So let's talk about the history of Grace, athletics, and where they're at right now.
Well, the history probably starts more than with any other individual with Gary Spire. Mm-hmm. Coach Spire, he actually held the mile record at Louisiana Tech for a good while. But we actually started playing soccer when both our boys were about 4 years old in city leagues, and grew up and then began a soccer program, a running program at Grace. The first state championship was actually in cross country, and that was led by Gary. We had our first individual state cross country champion. And then we had developed a soccer team from several schools around here in Alexandria. But we took those players, I say we, it was mainly Gary and he, and developed them to just a very competitive program. The year before this, I think it was the first time our soccer team had beat Bernard in one district in the same year, if I remember, in 19 years. And I think that 19 years ago was when the soccer team coached by Coach Spire actually beat Bernard in one district. So took a while to repeat, but we got off to a good start, and then been a good legacy to follow since then. Yeah,
so Grace Athletics have been very competitive, especially in track and field and cross country for a number of years. Softball came on later with Coach Hine, and then, of course, Coach Rozier's just continuing that legacy and actually created a new legacy, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. I definitely appreciate you guys, showing up and doing this. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, and appreciate you all. We're going to go to commercial break. And
Could I say one?
Sure.
I would like to say, too, Nick, you really did a fantastic job when you restarted the soccer program here, so much so that people thought so much of him that the field was named after him.
Gosh.
And then Doug has always been a loyal Grace Christian fan and support. His sons played here, and I'll never forget in the early years all the names that you see on our Hall of Fame of people that we've had to come be guest speakers. That was because of him. So thank y'all both, and thank all the athletes and parents, because y'all are wonderful people, and it's a pleasure to be around y'all.
And we appreciate you all allowing us to do this through baseball and obviously through this. So we're going to go take a break. You're watching Grace Night of Champions on 446 Sports.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome back to Grace Christian Night of Champions here. You see the crowd. Grateful for you all coming out, being part of this. I'm joined now by Coach Mike Gresham and the state champion javelin thrower for Class B, Tucker McCoy. I never thought I'd say that, kid. So he came up during soccer practice one time and said, Coach, I'm throwing the javelin. I said, who were you mad at? You know, so, but no, great accomplishment. You know, sorry, Coach Lyle couldn't be here. He's off watching his daughter, who's Coach Lyle Guillory, who's Tucker's, personal coach. But Coach Mike, let's talk about this young man. Let's talk good. We'll start talking good about him, and we have 8 to 10 minutes to really bring out the bad stuff. So just talk about the progression that Tucker's made.
Well, Tucker came on a couple of years ago from when I took over the program. We was looking for athletes. We had 10 boys. So we was working on trying to get more numbers. So watching him play soccer, obviously he was fast, he could jump. So it was one we kind of initially went after for running.
Yep, I tried years ago.
Then we got there. Then within the day, like I found the javelin. I'm not running, coach. And that was it. Pretty much no running until got to go district. Got a little running out of him, but he was from day one. He was in love with the javelin, and he's been head over heels over it.
And before we talk about his numbers and what he did, I begged him to run cross country and track because my boys both participated in that over the years. Okay, and he would always say no. He wouldn't say. I realized, the reason why he said no was because he's kind of lazy. Kind of lazy whenever it comes to the running part. But no, we would start with the mile. Whenever we first started soccer. And we would start with the mile. And Tucker was usually third or fourth. And he really hadn't done anything all fall except for eat Whataburger. It probably wasn't Whataburger at the time because they weren't open here. But no, I know this young man. I coached him from 7th grade. Kind of got goosebumps when Dave was texting me the scores. I was following it on LHSAA, and I'll be completely honest with you. I was mad at them because there were 2 throwers that they weren't updating their thing on live stream. And last year, for you all don't know, Tucker was leading, and then all of a sudden the last round, this guy he had scratched a number of times, and he threw it and beat Tucker on the last. So that's why Coach Nick was a little nervous about that. But let's talk about that state. Let's talk about going into state meet. Let's talk about where you were at. What were you throwing when the season started, and then what you ended up.
So I started off the season with all-time PR of 162 at Pineville, which was up to that point a 3 or 4 foot PR. And from there, I kind of coasted through the season, 160s all the way through. A couple of meets in the middle, I went down into the 150s again. And then right around district, I found myself high 160s. I think district meet, I hit 167, which was my PR, but technically I was not where I was needing to be at the moment. I just had a lot of stuff that was needed to come together at one time so I could hit good throws. And into regionals, had a horrible regionals meet. No call out, but my family got me there late. And I was upset about that, was not feeling great, feeling weak, threw my worst yet. Did worse than I did at district, technically and physically. And so going into state, I was pretty nervous, especially with last year's incident. And I got beat by a kid who was actually 60 feet less than me at the time when he was throwing. So I was pretty nervous about that because there was kids who were only 10 feet less than me now. And but about a week before district, we locked in, practiced 7 days a week for a week straight, and got to technically where I needed to be. And it worked out for the best when I went up to state.
I got you. Well, I'm going to defend your parents on this one and tell you that going forward, okay, you can't blame mom and daddy no more. Because when you're in college, okay, they don't care what you do. Their coaches don't care about mom and daddy. But that's just no going forward. But no, and I will also congratulate Coach Lyle because I coached him. I coached this young man for 6 years. And most of the things that I would say is eat right, sleep right, and study right, okay? And it took the state meet, the night before state meet, for Coach Guillory to finally get you to eat right, correct? If I'm not mistaken, you could carb up and do all the things. So no, but that was a good story. No, let's talk, okay? What was in your career at Grace? What did you enjoy the most? Beating Menard for district championship or winning the state javelin?
Okay, this is going to be kind of weird and contradicting to what path I'm on now, but it was probably actually beating Menard for district. And the only reason is because I just, once I won state, I'm not going to say I was actually, super excited. I was happy because I accomplished what I couldn't do last year, but I just had, so much that I was looking forward to. I have a whole college season. I have nationals. I just have so much more in the tank that I wanted to prove, and I feel like I didn't really prove it all at state. So I wasn't too thrilled with state. I was happy I won, but I wasn't thrilled with my performance. But going and beating Menard for district was probably, it was definitely my most fun.
Okay, and you're not saying that because Coach Nick's
No,
here?
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not.
all right. Then also, okay, beating, what were you most nervous about? Going into the state championship or when that first large buck walked out that you could shoot? What got your heart rate up the most?
Probably, definitely when I was a little kid, when I shot my first big deer. Because I was 12 in the stand by myself, freaking out, crying like a little kid.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you all. I know this is. And look, we got. And that's the great thing about this show is, you have these personal connections. But I've received a lot of photos on my phone from you killing deer, and I only got one picture of you winning state. So so that's where that goes. But no, just let's talk about this summer. Coach Morrow talked about how you're going to Oregon. Okay, you went last year to where'd you go last year in the summer? Was Iowa, if I'm not mistaken?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah, you went to Des Moines. Talk about that experience and how that helped you going into the season. Okay, and then what you're going to be doing in Oregon. So let's go back to Iowa.
So Iowa was pretty rough because I kind of went through a season. I went to state, did good, and then I really locked in for real javelin technique, and I broke down a lot. Went down probably 30, 20 feet from what I was throwing at state. Qualified on one of my lowest throws since my first time throwing, and went into Des Moines. Was ready, felt ready. Technically, knew if I did everything I should, I could put out a good number. Didn't realize how close I could get to actually become an All-American at Des Moines, but on my first throw, I was so nervous that when I went to run up, I just completely shut my brain off, and I tripped over my own feet, fell, and tossed the javelin out in front of me and scratched that throw completely on accident. So that was really nerve-wracking. And
I got a text about that one.
Yeah, it's on video too.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah.
And so that was really nerve-wracking. But then after that, my second throw was probably one of the best moments by far leading up into that. Was I hit a PR of 159, which was 7, 8 feet past what I did before. So I really knew I could do it then. And then I threw another throw, and it was under that by like a foot or so. And I barely got beat out. Again, on like one of the last throws, I got beat out for the finals where I would have been deemed All-American, I guess. But I can't say nothing against that because I feel like both losing there and losing at state that year really kind of like pushed me forward into the lock-in that I was for the whole year that I've been doing this now. So I can't say much about it. It really fueled me for a strong season that I've had.
And look, I know from being a parent, and look, I'm tell you what, okay, being an athlete on that stage is nerve-wracking, but being the parent is far worse, okay? We think our kids are the best at everything, but for some reason when we're cheering for them, we don't think they're going to do anything good. So no, but Tyler, he came up short numerous times at LSU, and that same commitment, and it was usually somebody that we didn't know about going into it. So all his numbers were good. So I'm glad that you took that. The reason I'm saying that is the motivation that you had. Now, Coach Mike, talk about, he didn't just throw the javelin, at the end of the season. Talk about the other events he participated in to get to hopefully win this district championship and propel into regionals.
Well, probably all season let's try the high jump. I've seen it, you can jump. And how many meets did you not show up for high jump?
About 3 or 4.
That's like, where's Tucker? I think the one where, it was the one where you cleared 5.8 at one point. He was state bound for a little while in high jump, which was it was scary at that point because it conflict a lot. Once you get there, trying to do high jump and stuff at regionals was, you're tricky of how line up it works. You never know till you get there which order they're going to do. But he went up, led a team at 5.8, first place in district.
Yeah.
And
First place in
regionals,
district, yeah.
kind of, had trouble at regionals, but it kind of worked out for the best. Pressure, not having to worry about back and forth.
Yeah.
But he was a no-show a while, but when he showed up, it was one of those fun jumps. It was technique out the window. Let's go jump on the sofa. Let's come from, it was just but it's just a natural athlete. It came out at him. He was just a natural at what he does.
Yeah, so this is your second year coaching.
Second year full-time, right.
And of course, you've learned that track people are divas.
They have their moments.
There's a reason why there's a lot of individual, awards. But no, I'm glad to hear that you did help the team. You're a phenomenal athlete. He was very successful in soccer, all district, all Sinlon soccer as well. But let's talk about, before we go to break and bring on Audrey, let's talk about this summer. What's going on this summer?
This summer is a big look forward, especially June 13th. I'm looking forward to throwing, or June 15th, I'm looking forward to throwing. I really want to get all this full year of work, I feel like, is going to come together then, because we were, like I said, going into state, we only had like 1 week of complete training, doing everything. So, I didn't have my best showcase there, but I'm ready for June 15th. And however it goes, whether it goes good, hit my goals, don't hit my goals, I'm going to be ready for going to Tech, because I want to go to Tech and I want to prove what I have and what I can offer, and I want to just show that to everyone who's watching then.
Well, remember where you're from. Always remember where you're from. We know you're going to go places, but always remember where you're from. Coach Mike, I appreciate it. State champion Tucker McCoy and the Javelin, appreciate you guys. So when we come back from break, we're going to have Audrey. Coach Mike's going to stay on, and we're going to have Audrey Tarver, who won the 100-meter hurdles in the Class B. So you're watching Grace Night of Champions on 446 Sports.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
And welcome back to Grace Christian School in Alexandria, Louisiana for the Grace Night of Champions. Now joined by Audrey Tarver, who's state champion of the 100-meter hurdles. Congratulations on that. So, look, first question right off the bat, most important question. Who's the best gamer between you and your dad?
It's me.
Okay, that's what I wanted to say. So, I saw the picture on Facebook, and I had to dog him a little bit. So what game do you play? What game does he play?
He just likes to shoot things. I don't know what he plays.
Go figure, huh? So, well, look, Coach Mike, let's talk about Audrey. Talk about, her success, the work that she's put in, and just give us a little input on on Audrey.
It's her third year running. She's made state all 3 years in 100 and 300 hurdles. She always excels district, regionals, and will get to state. And it's kind of has, good times in 18s, but it was kind of she hadn't plateaued out. And it was, like Coach Moore said, the 4-step. And this year they determined to do that next step, learn the 3-step, which is what it requires to lower them times down in the 16s and 17s, where she finally, but it was a long struggle. I mean, from the first, she stayed in the 18s all year long. And it was kind of, I think at some point it was almost, it's not working. We went to some extra meets. We just kind of brought her, one or two girls and stuff, just to kind of get some extra reps in. And it kind of just started, this really fell in place at district was the first one, and did I think PR there, like 16-7, and then it just kept on. Each meet was one extra hurdle. Some that was 2 hurdles, and it was 3. Then have a setback, and then it was the last, she saved it for the end, plateaued at the right time this year.
Excellent stuff. So before we get to the technical stuff about the 3-step, 4-step, okay, all the hills that you ran by your house in the golf course, was it worth it?
I really can't say because it was terrible.
It was worth it. I'm telling you, that was the work. Your dad sent me videos of that. Okay, another comical thing about the Tarver family is I guess it's the only sport that your parent can actually beat up on a coach during an event, because Miss Tarver was beating up on Coach Brad, all through the 16 seconds. But yeah, Coach Brad said that he's never going to sit in front of her. But another thing that you may not know, your dad almost fell out of the upper deck because he was so excited about it. So, and I'm going to tell you as a parent, okay, the video of Tyler winning the 800. Okay, his mom, she was cool, calm, collected. You could barely hear her. But me, I was going crazy. And if you believe that, then I got a little bit of property to sell for you. But no, she was excited. I was excited. So it's something, that stadium, and that if you've never been to a state track meet, and Coach Morrow goes every year, if you've never been to a state track meet at LSU, you need to go, because it's a phenomenal event. It's athletes from B or C all the way up to 5A, and it's a great event. All right, so let's talk about Coach Warren's technique that she had you. Of course, Coach Morrow introduced, or said about Coach Shelley. I talked to her. She's coached 8 or 9. She couldn't really remember state champions. Okay, so she's got a great resume, especially in the hurdles. Talk about the difference between the 4-step and the 3-step, the technical part of it.
The technical part is you just got to be, really fast. You've got to just get your feet down and you can't jump it. You're supposed to just run right through it, and that's, really hard because there's something in your way. You want to jump it. That's really it.
Well, actually, let me go back, actually. You show up at track practice one day. What says, hey, I just want to run and jump over something? How did you choose hurdles?
Dayton Gresham.
Okay, so
She did it, so you can do it. Let me do it with you.
okay, I got you. So little peer pressure, competitive nature there. Okay, that's good. That's good because I can tell you, of course, I'm not that tall, so the hurdles, high jump, none of that stuff's good for me. But so let's talk about what was your PR last year, your freshman year.
I'd say like 18 seconds flat.
Okay, what was your PR this year?
16.7. I got that at district.
Okay, so we have two athletes sitting right here, and we're going to bring on a group of athletes after this, okay, that it proves that if you do the work, that this is what happens. This is what happens, and I get chills just thinking about it because the running at the golf course, the training that you did with Coach Warren, okay, the soccer training that Coach Mike, Coach Andy put you guys through, all that helps, okay? So you went from 18 to 16 something, okay? What was the biggest, pardon the pun, the biggest hurdle with the going from 4-step to 3? What was the hardest part?
The mental part is really the hardest because I was fast enough to do it. It was just, I never thought I was going to make it to the hurdle.
And the one thing I will tell you guys this as well, watching all the years that we watched, the one thing about especially some of the high school track who does not have personal coaches like this, usually you're athletic enough, and Coach Moore will tell you this, usually you're athletic enough to actually win the state championship and not have a good technique. But it's that technique is what puts you over the top. Okay, so Coach Warren also told me that you said about 10 words to her, okay, that wasn't yes ma'am or no ma'am. So let's talk about that. She says she's going to coach you this summer. You guys are going to focus on the 300. Okay, what's the difference between the 100 and 300? Other than the distance, obviously.
The
but
300 is just sprint the whole thing. You just have to have a lot of stamina, and you've got to have the right steps for it, and you can't jump too high. You can't hit it or you might fall. It's just bad.
Yeah, it's the one event that I would watch in track, and I would actually feel sorry for parents hollering or coaches hollering at the athlete because it's a brutal race. I know the 32 was a long race, and of course I always hollered at the kids with coach's permission at the end of the cross country meets after they ran 3 miles. But that 300 is brutal. So you want to go back and win the 100. Okay, how much focus are you going to put on the 300 to try to win that as well? Is that something you want to focus on, or you think it's gonna?
It's kind of just like a side thing. Just if I can win it, I will. If I can't, I won't.
Okay, so doing the double, maybe it's okay, but definitely focus. Now, the one last question about the technical part: how many hurdles did you 3-step on the final?
The final track meet, I 3-stepped 8, which is my best.
Your best.
Yes, because at the regional I only jumped 5, so somehow I got all of them, but 2.
I got you. So your best performance of the year. All right, so a couple little questions here, okay? Kind of like with Tucker, okay? Feel best shutting down. For you all don't know, Audrey's one of the better defenders in our area, one of the better soccer defenders on the team. Shutting down a striker who scores a lot of goals or winning a hurdle race. What makes you feel better?
A hurdle race.
Okay, all right. So,
Definitely.
and you say that in front of the soccer coach? That's fine, no worries. So, what are you doing this summer for hurdles and for track and
I'm
everything?
going to be training every week. I'm doing a lot of weights that just going to get me to the next hurdle.
Okay. Any meets, any competitions that you know of?
Not any schedule, but I am signing up for some that
Okay.
I should be doing.
Okay. That wasn't so bad, was this? It wasn't so bad, was it? So now, very nervous, and look, like I said, Coach Nick still gets nervous about this. So, but congratulations, state champion, have the medal, and you have another year to hopefully repeat. I want to thank Coach Mike Gresham for being. When we come back, we're going to have Coach Rozier and the softball team. You're watching Grace Night of Champions on 446 Sports.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world in the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
And welcome back to Grace Christian School in Alexandria, Louisiana. And I'm now joined by Ava Gio and Coach Mark Rozier. And Coach Rozier, before we talk about the state championship you just won, we had a conversation a couple of years ago, and you called me and you said, Nick, how do y'all have so many girls on the soccer program? And I told you, I don't know if you remember, that, Coach, if you stay and you put in the work and you're consistent with them and you show that you're going to be here, okay, that it wouldn't take you long. How long did it take you?
3 years.
3 years. Congratulations. That's a great first state championship for Grace softball, okay, since, we've been in school since 1984. They've had multiple times that they've been, of course, it used to be here in Alexandria, then in Sulphur. And you guys went last year too, correct?
Yes,
So-
we were in the semifinals the last 2 years, actually.
Yep, so congratulations. And of course, you also, this is your third state championship as a coach?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw where you had 2 at Oak Hill. Okay, and you've also, is that correct?
Yeah, 2 at Oak Hill, and it was a long time ago.
But I know you put the work in. I know you've been at multiple stops. I know you had a great stop at Alexandria Senior High. You helped the Buckeyes well build that program. So congratulations. Appreciate you taking your time. They had tryouts today for next year. There's no rest for the weary. Okay, now the players. So the only senior on the team. Starting defender for, I'm sorry. So Ava Gio batting .438 for the year, okay, and just like I said, this is what, 4 years, or how many years did you play softball at Grace? Is it 6 years?
6.
6 years. So congratulations. So your senior year, you got it done. Mm-hmm. So and just a wonderful group of ladies, young ladies that were with you. Let's talk about what was the difference this year at Sulphur compared to last year?
I feel like we were a lot more focused. Like, we came ready to play. We prepared really well, and we just came out and we weren't focused. We didn't even, I don't know how to explain it. We weren't over the top or anything because we've been here before, and it was time to get it over with.
Okay, what position do you play?
Shortstop.
Shortstop. So that's a great position to play as well. Let's talk about the last year, whenever you guys, I think your sister hurt her back, if I'm not mistaken, back injury. So you became the pitcher, correct?
I did. I did.
So you've definitely put in the work. This has been a long time coming. Talk about your freshman year. How many players did y'all have?
I think we had right at 9.
Yes.
There weren't very many.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we were missing somebody, it was what are we gonna do? It it was hard, and we never had any like breaks or anything.
Yeah, you persevered. You're here. You have 15 on the roster from what I'm seeing right here. Okay, state champions. Okay, it took 4 years, from that time. Of course, obviously 3 years with Coach Rozier. But talk about lifting the trophy. Do you remember?
Oh yes.
Okay, a
I
lot of
remember.
people don't. That's the thing about it. A lot of kids, they don't remember because of the moment. But talk about lifting that trophy just right in front of you.
It was like the best feeling ever. Just like running out there and grabbing it. And it's like, this is ours. We just did that.
So when you come to a school like Grace, okay, you have an opportunity to lift a trophy like that. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't realize that. Everybody thinks we're the other school on Jackson Street. We are the school on Jackson Street, okay? So whenever you come to Grace, you have these opportunities, okay? Talk about the athletes, your fellow sisters out there and teammates out there. Let's talk about the favorite, other than Sulphur. Let's talk about one of the favorite. We're not going to pick on Coach Rozier this time. You and Mr. Doug, y'all did that on the last show. But let's talk about your favorite moment before we go back to Coach Rozier.
Oh, I have a lot of favorite moments. I love our bus rides home. They're always so fun. I hate riding the bus though, but they're so fun.
I'm not going to ask because I know whenever I coached all-star soccer game, okay, we would interview all 40 athletes there, and 35 of them said it was the bus rides.
I mean, they're fun.
Okay, so.
It's like it's horrible at the same time because you're just sitting in a little bumpy little can, and then.
Hey, that's the great thing about live TV. You get to do stuff like this. So, Coach, let's talk about your lone senior. Talk about what she's meant to the program.
She's meant a lot. I mean, we talk about my 3 years here. I don't know how many. I know she knows because I've told this story like 100 times to her. The first time I saw him play, really, I was in between. I had just ended coaching at Buckeye, and I talked to Coach Morrow and went to LC to watch them play, to watch Grace play, and they were playing Country Day in a first-round playoff game, I believe. And, not a lot of players, but Ava really stood out to me out on shortstop, and I just really felt like, she would be a good kid. I really wanted to coach her, and I felt like she would be a good kid to build a team around. So it's, you were saying how many players we had. I mean, I came, and I was just going to help Coach Boniel. I mean, that was the plan. I was just going to come help him. And I remember thinking, we got 3 or 4 players. That's all I see. And where is everybody else? Well, they're playing basketball. They're playing soccer. They'll be here. And I'm not kidding. It was the day before our very first game that I actually saw a team. And so we've gone from there to today when we had tryouts. I think we had 23 out. So it's been fun to watch. Ava's been. I think especially her senior year, I don't know if she saw the end in sight and felt like she needed to step up. But to me, I can't speak for soccer and track because I wasn't there, but for basketball and for softball, she really stepped up, and you just saw a different look in her eyes at practice and encouraging her teammates to do what they needed to do. So, I mean, she mentioned last year, getting there and having to pitch, which she did a remarkable job, I mean, in relief. And we really, we had confidence, but it just didn't go our way. In one inning, it just kind of went south on us. And but she's been a great asset. Not going to be able to replace her. Yeah, somebody will have to play the position, but she's one that you're going to miss a lot.
Talk about being able to celebrate with your dad as a coach.
It's really great. I mean, he's been my coach since we were in like T-ball, and it hadn't hit me until like close to being the end of the season that this was my last time playing for my dad. You know, it kind of sucked, but it felt good to go out with a bang.
Yeah, hey, if you're going to play, the last time you play with your dad, if lifting that trophy is going to be definitely the one. Look, I coached my kids, and I wouldn't change it for the world, but I also know that, eventually, they're going to move on, and you're going to move on. And where are you going to school?
ULM.
Okay, can you do the thing like you did at graduation? No, I won't do that to you. I won't do that to you, but congratulations. I think what I'd like to do, Coach, is bring Riley on, if Riley's here, and get to talk to Riley and Gio about it. And want to tell you congratulations. Thank you a lot, Ava.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're just gonna swap in and out right here. We're not gonna go to the commercial breaks here. So we've already paid the bills. How's that sound? So, but so now we're joined by Riley Gio. So I kind of did a double take here, if I'm not mistaken, without putting my glasses on. But 400 career strikeouts, 225 strikeouts this season, a 1.27 ERA. You had 16 strikeouts in the championship weekend, over the two games, and batted .429, hit 5 home runs. Is that all? Am I right?
I think
okay,
so.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure. So, talk about playing. Of course, I know sisters, brothers, family members, rivals. But talk about your older sister and talk about what it was like to celebrate this championship with her.
It was great. Like, we don't hug a lot. That's something we don't do, but we did hug that game. And everybody could witness that.
This is why we're doing this. This is why our founder, Doug Gann, here to my left, started 446, so we can have these interactions with high school athletes, student athletes. But then your dad, being able to be there with him. But you're stuck with him another year, right?
I got one more year.
So you guys will get to enjoy that. But talk about last year. And I don't want to bring up bad memory, but talk about how you had to sit and watch. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is because the way this year ended. Talk about last year, how you had to watch your teammates, your team go through that battle in Sulphur without you.
That was really, really hard because I sat there and watched them struggle and go through hard times and then get back up. And I couldn't do anything about it. And just watching them go through all that. And they made it all the way. I'm very proud of them for that. And then just crumble there at the end was even worse than watching them at the beginning. It was so hard.
Hey, softball pitchers are kind of divas too, right, Coach? No, but Coach, let's talk about her as not only as a pitcher but as an overall athlete on your team. But let's start about in the circle.
Yeah, well, Riley is a great athlete in the first place. What she brought to our team, she had I guess, I don't know if you call it a chip on the shoulder or whatever. She definitely had something to prove. She came out last year. Now, let me go back to the first year. The first year, she was solid. Mm-hmm. She was a solid pitcher. I mean, I got no complaints, and but the second year, I think the bar was set so high, like she had worked so hard, and she felt like she was it was gonna be her year, and then the injury came, and it was just like, falling out of the elevator or something. Just the bottom went out. It's like
the bottom fell
Lord.
out.
And we did as a team. I remember we were going to, I think, the Tioga tournament, and we were supposed to play Manny and Winfield, and it was like, great, who's going to pitch? And we have girls that have pitched, but Riley was a rock for us in the circle. And so when we take that out, and we put somebody else in, I mean, the look in their eyes, like, I'll just name some names, like by the way, I should say a shout out to Sydney Avery. I think it's her birthday today.
Okay, happy birthday, Sydney. Hey, this is what coaches do. You give them a microphone, we get to embarrass you. So,
but we kind of struggled in finding ourselves. Okay, what are we going to do here? And even though we lost a couple games there, we just we took the loss and realized that it's not the end of the world. We still hit the ball. I think we scored. I mean, we scored good runs. We just got to figure out how to stop the bleeding on the pitching side. So Ava, she got it going, and we had some others. Sydney, Winley, I can't remember. We had several that we tried. We had Winley slingshotting the ball up there and everything else, and to try to get it going. But Ava just kind of, I guess you would say, rose to the occasion. And one of my favorite, like just to realize how much she put into it. Going back to Ava, we're playing Monterey. Monterey is undefeated in district at the time, I believe. And it's our last home game, and we're playing a pretty good game, and Ava's pitching, and she throws a pitch and just, boom, falls down. It's like, what? And we try to figure, she rolls her ankle. Well, I'm the groundskeeper, so that's on me, right? So I go out. Jonathan brings her over, gets her going. No, she's going to stay in. Okay, all right, she stays in. I think she throws like 1, 2 maybe pitches. Boom, down she goes again. Like, wow, we got to get her out. Well, we took her out. Jonathan tapes her up. I think he taped her up, iced her down, taped her up, and had to take her out of the game. And I can't remember if we put Kaylee Clow. I can't remember who came in for her, but I know when we got out of that inning and we came back to bat, who's the leadoff hitter? Ava. Now, I'm not even sure she can walk, and so she's going to be the leadoff hitter. And sure enough, she gets a hit and makes it to first, and comes back in the game and finishes out the game. And then that game, I don't know if everybody remembers it, but we made this play in the outfield. We threw. We were up. What was it? 2-1, 1-2, something. We're up by a run, and Monterey gets a hit. We make a mistake and then we relay the ball in and throw the tying run out at the plate to win the game. And I mean, that just gave us. I just think that gave our team such a spark going in, and it was just such an exciting moment. But with Riley coming back this year, I feel like I'm rambling. Riley coming back this year and taking her place, I just saw in her just a, this is gonna. I'm doing this, kind of just a determined attitude. In fact, we kind of started laughing about it at about halfway through the season. I would go over and look at her and ask her, because she'd sit by herself before the game started, "Are you okay?" I got it. That's about it.
Just
That's all you hear. I got it.
Just have to get in that mental mindset, huh?
I got it. And yeah, so she put up some big numbers. Not only did our team do well, but I mean she was instrumental. I mean you saw the numbers with the strikeouts and the ERA, and it's been a great experience for me, and I hope the kids all enjoyed it. I mean it's been wonderful.
Do you remember whenever you got to lift that trophy the first time? Mm-mm. You don't? See? Mm-mm. See, Ava?
I was on the outside of the crowd. I really don't know.
So she's usually in the spotlight, but for that one, she lets you guys go. So, well, no, congratulations, state champion, Riley Gio pitcher. So if we can, let's maybe have Winley Vincent come on, if that's okay. Winley, come on up. So congratulations. All right, now I'm gonna. We have a little history with Winley's brother. So he played soccer with our oldest son, and if I'm not mistaken, your mom she shared a memory on Facebook, And she said, I finally have a ball player. I don't have, it was a picture of Winley when she was younger in a little softball suit, a little softball uniform, because Dalen was a soccer player and a very good one. And of course, she cheered him on for soccer too, but she always wanted her little ball player. And from what I read and from what I seen on Facebook and from what I saw on 446 Sports, I think you're a pretty good little softball player, huh?
Thank you.
Congratulations. MVP of Sulphur for the 2 games. So that's a crazy you were 7 for 8. What was different there than, I mean, I know you had a great season, but what was different there at those fields?
Well, I think I was just, we had went back there this is our 3rd year going back, and I was ready to win. I was like, losing is not an option this year. We are making it the whole way, and we are winning the whole thing. And I think I was just really confident this year, and I just knew I knew it was going to happen this year.
That's awesome. So, Coach, talk about, and you're a sophomore, right? If I'm not mistaken, Winley, you're a sophomore?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Talk about Winley and what she's meant to the program.
Well, you remember me telling you a few minutes ago when I saw Ava play, I think Winley was in center field that game. You talk about a little runt. I mean, she's a little thing. And, you know, Coach Boniel was always telling me when I first got here, little Winley. He was always a little Winley. And I was like, okay. And she, the first thing I would have to tell you is that almost everybody on our team tells you, we give the award most Christ-like player. It's not, we don't even vote anymore. They always tell me it's Winley. It's
That's
Winley. Awesome. So first of all, we're talking about just a great kid, period. Forget the ball playing. And, but when it comes to the ball playing, the thing that, and we have others that match this, meet this. We have such a wonderful team because so many of our players can play so many spots. I mean, we can play infield, outfield. Winley has played, and I told her before, I've actually told her this like one year, last year, or I don't think I told her this year, that one of these games before it's over with, she's going to play every position in the game because that's just how versatile she is. Just a couple of notes on her because she won our defensive player of the year. She made that throw that threw the girl out at the plate against Monterey. She made another one against Grant this year. So she's been defensively great for us. And you mentioned her numbers in the state, but what you don't know is it was probably 2 or 3 weeks before that. Winley was walking around the place. I can't hit.
You only
What's
batted
wrong with me?
467 on the season, but you can't hit.
I mean, she was going to other players. I know Bella was telling her, Sydney was telling. Everybody was like, do this. And, because, confidence, the player that, if they lose their confidence, if they get shaken, I mean, that's a big thing to overcome when you start worrying about what's wrong. And I don't know if she remembers it or not, but I did tell her finally. I said, Willie, just forget everything that we're all telling you and just relax and do what you just normally do.
Yeah, you've been there, you've done that, huh?
And so it just really happened at a very opportune moment, that she got hot at the right time. And so she's been, I mean, like a lot of our players, just, great to be around, easy to coach. She played basketball this past year, talked her into that, and I thought I might have ruined her on that one, but, we came back, we got back to softball, and it worked out pretty good.
So maybe not that it looks like you need to be in condition, but maybe the basketball may have helped with the conditioning a little bit going into softball?
Maybe. I mean, it definitely kept me in shape.
Right.
But
well, let's talk about lifting that trophy. You remember lifting that trophy?
Oh, definitely. I'll rewatch the video every day.
Every day. That's what I'm talking about. So has your mom ever told you how competitive she was?
Sometimes.
She
She
would-
tells me I get it from her.
Well, I don't know James, but I don't know your dad that well, other than when we were both parents on the soccer side of the soccer field. But I know your mom was very competitive, and her family was very competitive. I went to school with them a long time ago. So, well, Winley, congratulations.
Thank
you. Good job, and Coach, if we can get is Bella here? Maybe we can get Bella on the headset. If you need to know, LSU and South Carolina are tied 5-5. If you're recording it right now, I'm sorry, but all right, Bella, pronounce your last name for me.
Acre.
So just the way it's spelled, right?
Yes.
So is this a typo? 436?
No, sir.
Okay. 50 RBI,
Yes, sir.
8 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get a ninth.
I wanted to.
You wanted a ninth? Okay. What position you play?
Catcher.
Oh, okay. So
Yes,
you're the one that's take care of the divas
Mm-hmm.
that are in the circle. Okay. So how long you been at Grace?
Since pre-K.
Oh wow. Okay. What grade you in?
I'm going to 11th.
Okay. And you've been softball 7th all the way through?
I started in 8th.
Oh, you started in 8th grade. Okay. So you've seen the highs and lows, the ups and downs.
Yes.
Okay. What was different this year than last year?
I feel like this year we all came together more as a team, and we didn't want to lose since we had lost the last 2 years. And I feel like we all worked together more and all knew that this year was our year, and we all really wanted it for Ava since it was her last year.
That's good. Tell me about catching the softball. Okay. I mean, I know the ball's a little bit bigger than baseball. Okay. But they're not far from you, and that ball's moving. Okay.
Yes.
Talk about the glove you wear. It's kind of first base mitt type. Is it a catcher's mitt
It's
for
a-
softball?
yes.
Okay. Talk about the difference in the speed, the adjustments you have to make, just being back there and being the rock. That way, your pitchers can throw what they want to throw and have confidence in you. What's it like being back there?
You definitely have to be more of a leader since you see a different perspective of the field. And just like you have to adapt within any situation. And you have to definitely communicate and be loud, which I usually am. But yeah, you have to adjust to anything that comes your way and any pitch that's thrown.
So you remember lifting that trophy?
Yes, definitely.
You want to lift it again next year,
Yes.
right? Okay, so how many seniors we going to have next year, Coach? As of right now,
As of right now, we'll have 4.
Okay. So, and it's Riley,
Rory,
Bella.
Hannah, and Sydney.
Okay.
No, Bella is
I'm sorry.
I'll
going to
be a
be a
junior.
junior.
You're going to be a junior. Okay, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, yeah, that's right. You've already, I've been in school in a long time. So you're already a junior because this was your sophomore year, right? You're
Yes,
already
sir.
looking forward. I like that. Okay. So, well, let's talk about going into next year. Okay. Summer stuff. You guys have summer plans for a team, as a team. So it's and a lot of coaches tell you, and I know it feels like it's hard to get there, but getting there the first time is the easy part. It's going back's the hard part. So what y'all have planned for the summer?
Well, we're going to be doing some conditioning, weightlifting, training. We'll play some summer games. Everything in the summer and even in the fall pretty much is low key, just trying to get reps, just trying to see what different players can do, and it doesn't really it helps a lot just because you don't want to go an extended period,
Right.
But it's also a situation where we don't want them to experience any fatigue or burnout with it.
Makes sense.
So it's kind of, we want to do, just the right amount without overdoing it. Because some of our kids, like Bella, plays travel ball.
Okay.
And she'll travel and play. I don't know how many of them are. Michaela plays a little travel ball. Sydney plays travel ball. Riley and Sydney, I think, Riley and Bella are going this weekend to play. And with the success, I'm having calls from different coaches about players. Can they come play with us this weekend? This and that. So we're just going to be trying to find a blend where we do enough to keep us in shape together and keep building that bond. Like you keep hearing the girls say, we did it together, and you know, I think that's one of the things that is really cool about this team is, as far as I can tell, they actually really like each other pretty much. You know, they don't mind hanging out with each other. They don't. It's just not on the ball field. They just like each other, and you know, having a team that just gels like that, and they're just so fun to be around.
It makes a difference, and you listen all across the board to all coaches. You listen to a lot of athletes. I watch a lot of college, athletes, a lot of athletics, a lot of baseball. And look, I'm gonna tell you, if they don't get along with each other, they won't play for each other. Okay, now they all want to play the game.
Yes.
Okay, they all want to play the game, but if they don't like each other, okay, it's very hard to put that aside. So that's a great trait as well.
Well, they pick each other up a lot better when they. I mean, we don't hopefully have anybody in the dugout, which we did. We had it was this is on a side note, but during the course of the season, I'm telling a story on Rory. Now I don't know if you know Rory, but Rory is like rock solid. You never see her too high, too low. She's just solid. She's crying her eyes out in the dugout, and like, what? I haven't got a hit in like 4 games. What? I didn't even realize, it was bothering her. And then all of a sudden we have people hugging her neck. Sydney's over there with the arm around her. Hannah's over there. They're just picking each other up. So having the team that can, keep each other picked up and, they really get along, it's pretty cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, since you brought up Rory's name, we'll bring up Rory, and we won't bring up that moment, but we'll bring Rory up. Congratulations, Bella. Appreciate you being on the show. And Rory gets that from her dad, right? Because doesn't get that from her mom. But thank you, Bella. Now I grew up with Andy and great family, and I appreciate it. Rory's been on the soccer team for a number of years, and then after this, we'll go ahead and tell Sydney to get ready. Oh yeah, you're going to be next, Sydney. So, Rory, I would have never thought. Your dad and I were talking. Rory's dad, Uncle Trey, and myself, we grew up together, played soccer, traveled this whole state playing soccer, battled each other a lot in high school soccer against each other. And I would have never thought that a Decker athlete would have finally won a state championship in softball.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
And that's awesome, and I'm glad. And that's another great thing about Grace Christian is you have an opportunity to play multiple sports. A lot of your schools, they make you choose, or if you don't just focus on one sport, you don't get this opportunity. But congratulations on that. I know your parents are proud. I know your grandparents are proud. So let's talk about softball. Talk about how many years you've played here at Grace.
Well, officially, I've only really played 3.
Okay.
I played my 7th grade year, and after that, I stopped my 8th grade year, and Coach Rozier begged me my 9th grade year. It was his first year coaching here. He begged me and begged me and begged me, and I just kept saying no. And then eventually later in the 9th grade season, were having injuries, and they were getting low on players, so he roped me and 2 other soccer girls into playing. So I played maybe 1 district game, like 4 games total that year, but came back and played outfield for them, and then just stuck around after that. So 3 years, really.
Did you play when you were younger growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ava and Riley, we grew up playing together.
Okay, so it wasn't anything new to you?
No.
Softball wasn't?
No.
Okay, well, that's good. So you're going to be a senior, one of the 4 seniors, and I know you're active. What all sports you play, Grace?
Soccer, softball, and track.
Okay, what do you do in track?
I do the long jump, and then for starting district, I did discus, and then I did that regionals and state also.
Okay, so 3-sport athlete, okay. So you remember lifting that trophy?
I don't think I did, honestly.
Y'all didn't pass the trophy around?
They did. I kind of just enjoyed the moment, watched my teammates, kind of have fun with it, let them all get their hands on it.
I got you. I guess that's one thing about about the sport that was, my favorite sport. And in soccer, you win a trophy like that, and everybody does the little, and they lift it up, and they just pass it to each other. So maybe that's something when y'all lift this next year, maybe all y'all get to lift it up next year. So talk about playing with Riley and Ava, on the same team. I'm sure that anytime there's sisters, there's always some fun times, but also some crying moments as well. So talk about what that meant for them being on the field with you at the same time.
Well, I mean, they were just always very encouraging, and we grew up playing together. They're my stepsisters, so I mean, we always just grew up playing and had fun together, and I was always on a team with one of them. So getting to play in high school with them and then getting to see them win their favorite sport and just thrive in this, it was really a great thing.
That's good stuff. Coach, other than begging her to play, talk about what Rory's meant to the program.
Yeah, I guess this is just kind of incidental, because when I came to the school, the first thing is I knew Andy from church.
Okay.
And I knew Rory when she was a wee baby. And of course, our lives took us in different directions, and I went to like Ash and Buckeye and different places. But I talked to a friend of mine. His name is Marconi, and he said, "How about that Decker girl? Are you going to get her out there?" I said, "Man, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my hardest." And the first time I asked her, she was matter of fact, "No, not playing, period. Not going to happen." And I don't know, it went on for months. I don't want to bug you, but any inroads, and it took an injury or two for us to finally get her out there, and she's been a real solid asset to our team. She plays soccer, and she's so committed to that and everything, and she didn't have the reps in. She took that break, and taking that break in any sport, you got to work your way back into it. And she's I'm not going to say she's dedicated to it as much as soccer, because that would probably not be true. But she's really, really, I think the best way to describe Rory is she didn't want to let the team down. She wanted to do her part. She didn't have to be the star of the team. She just wanted to do her part. She didn't want to let anybody down. And I think that's one of the things that makes her so special. I talked to Coach Chris, and I said, "Man, Rory just, she loves you, man. She's just out there. She hangs on everything you say. You just keep moving her forward. Just keep moving her forward." And yeah, she's turned out to be, just a real solid player for us. Another really good kid that just gets along with everybody, and you just really can't say enough about that. I mean, I know it sounds like a broken record. I keep saying it, but just another really good kid. So, and pleasure to be around. And I'm so happy that finally, however it happened, that she did come play with us.
Well, Rory, I know that your dad and I, we talk, almost daily, or at least text daily, and he's very proud of you. He's very proud of this state championship, in softball, and just want to let you know that. So congratulations. Sydney, if we can get Sydney up here since it's her birthday. Do we need to sing happy birthday, Coach?
Just you and I, or the crowd?
No,
we get the crowd, right?
Definitely
okay, if we get the crowd into it, we can do it, okay? But I don't want to do like solo.
Would that embarrass you too bad? Okay, all right, we won't do that. We won't do that. All right, Sydney Avery, right?
Yes, sir.
What grade you in?
I'll be a senior.
You're going to be a senior, okay. What position you play?
Third base.
Third, ooh, hot spot, hot corner, okay. How many years you been playing at Grace?
3.
3, okay.
Yes, sir.
You came as a freshman?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Played softball your whole life?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, all right, so let's talk about the, he said something about you earlier and you kind of blushed. It wasn't your birthday, but Coach, let's talk about, she seems like she's the fire plug of the team.
Well, I think the actual word is spark plug.
Spark
what
plug,
we
okay,
used
that'll
for
work.
her. You
That'll
know, I think her first nickname was Squirrel.
Oh.
Because she was just all over the place getting the ball and everything.
We're learning a lot. We're learning.
Coach Chris and all the coaches have had our conversation. Hits the ball well. Has got a strong arm. Just trying to keep her focused on not beating herself up about things and being able to bounce back when things don't go her way, because I think she sets a high standard for herself, and sometimes it shows up when she doesn't hit the ball as well as she thinks she should have. She's another girl, kind of like Winley, who was just totally on fire for us at one time and then kind of dropped off and then came back really, really, really strong at the end again. And so it's she's Coach Chris, I think, called her the spark plug because she's a leadoff hitter. When she gets on base, she's able to steal bases, and it makes it, I'm not going to say easy, but it makes it a whole lot easier to score runs when you can get her on base. You don't necessarily have to bunt. You can steal a base, score on a ground ball. It just makes it a lot easier because she's such a great athlete.
Why third base?
I really don't know.
Don't know? I mean, how long have you played it? Since you were little, or?
No, I
No?
started off at shortstop.
Okay, okay. Then moved
I
to
got moved to third base.
Okay. What's the difference in softball between shortstop and third base?
Third base, you really have to be paying attention and on your toes and fast reflexes, I guess you could say.
You wear the mask?
I do.
Okay. Well, that's fixed to say. If not, then we have to have a talk here. So, do you remember? Well, I guess I need to ask this. Did you get to lift the trophy?
I did.
Okay.
I was the second person to grab
Oh, okay, I got you. It's almost as big as you, So, but talk about whenever you lift that trophy, how you felt.
it. It was really a great experience.
So, anything went through your mind at the moment?
Not
Nothing. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. It's just that's one of the things about it. I know the year I won the state championship as a coach. There were so many things I wanted to say a week later to all my players because, when you're in the moment, those things happen. So talk about next year, okay? Excited about coming back for your senior year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what do we have? Coach said 23 players, so you guys going to try to lift another one, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations. Appreciate it. Coach?
Can I just say
yes.
one thing? In all the big things that were happening in that final game, two things is with Sydney. I think most of our players are going to remember, most of our parents and things that were there, is she made one of the greatest plays at third base during that game. It was a highlight play where she dives to her left, picks the ball up, and throws the girl out at first and just kills what could have been a rally for the other team. She also was the one that scored the game-winning run because I know Winley hit the ball to score her, but she's the one who scored, and she had just hit, I believe, a 2-run triple right before Winley. So we had, I'm not taking anything away from Winley because I think she deserves what she gets, but we really had Riley, Sydney. We had, it was a team effort doing that. And, and I mentioned it to him, and I told him, I said, look, somebody's got to get the trophy. It's just the way it is. Somebody's going to get rewarded for that. But you played a great game. I just want to make sure, like you're saying, afterwards, and you start thinking about all the little things that went right. Michaela was hitting the ball like crazy. There's so many things that happened good. it's just, you know, when you sit back and you start, I guess, realizing what it was like, or, you know, you have time to appreciate what everybody did to make the occasion what it was.
Well, Sydney, congratulations on the state championship. Happy birthday. Okay. And since you mentioned Michaela, why don't we try to bring Michaela up, Coach? I'm just going to go right off that list. But no, and the things while she's coming up here, the things you're talking about, Coach, with all these young ladies, okay, that's what it takes to lift the trophy at the end of the year. You know, there's only that's another thing too. How many softball teams are in high school soccer? I mean, high school softball, excuse me, from division from 5A down.
No, I don't even know.
250 probably at least.
Probably.
Okay, and there's 7 at the end of the, or there's 7, or
I think there's 10.
There's 10 now. That's right. There's 10 at the end of the year.
Yes.
So less than 10% gets
And I
told
think
that.
next year it'll go back to what? I think
Yeah, you'll have B and C. You know,
yeah.
separated. So-
B goes back together. C
Yeah.
goes back
So
together.
you'll have 8. She'll have 8 next year. So it will be a little different. So Michaela White, correct?
Yes, sir.
What grade you in?
I'll be going into 9th grade.
Okay, she'll be. What position you play?
First base.
First base. Okay. So, and talk about your teammates since you're an 8th grader. Talk about how much these ladies mean to you. You know, going forward.
I think coming in here, they were super like welcoming, and they accepted me when I first came over in the middle of the year, and they just really like picked me up and made sure that I was ready to be a part of such a close-knit team. They just accepted me like one of them.
How many years you been at Grace?
Well, I came for pre-K through 4th,
Okay.
then I left for 5th, and then I just came back this year.
Okay. So you're familiar with Grace?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that wasn't a big adjustment for you. Talk about Sulphur. What's your, other than winning the championship? What was your biggest memory? A smile goes on your face. I guess you have one in mind. That's good. I like that.
I think our biggest memory was on the way
Pull
to
the mic a little closer. There you go.
was going to Sulphur.
Okay.
Maybe not at Sulphur, but like the feeling of knowing that we had a shot, and like riding the bus there and decorating it and having a big party before we left just made us like really realize like this was our year, and I think it brought us all closer.
Yeah, y'all left at like 11 o'clock the day before, right?
Yes, sir. We go down. It's kind of I guess you'd call it a pattern where we are able to go down and practice on the turf fields.
Okay.
So we go down. We take them out we take them to practice, get locked into moved into the room, hotel, and then take them out for a good dinner. I guess you call it a pregame dinner to make sure everybody's fed well. Come back to the house. I mean, it's just a kind of a choreographed thing where we come back to the hotel. We have a final team meeting before we turn in. Tell them what the itinerary for the next day is going to be. We just don't want to be rushed.
Right.
You know, we want everybody's mind to be clear, free from distractions. You know, because I don't know if you know this, but teenagers, they have all kind of problems.
Yeah.
You know, and so you just try to get them out away from all of their problems. And, I mean, you can't get them completely away from everything, but you try to just, you know, cushion them as much as you can and nurture them, I guess, and try to get them in the right mindset to play the games.
So, did you get to lift the trophy?
I don't think so.
My gosh.
I think we all like Ava ran up in front of all of us and grabbed it for her senior
Well,
year.
I can understand
For her
that.
senior year, she said, "I'm getting it first."
Well, I understand that. But,
And then I think after that, they all just kind of like passed it around, and I just was like, I was like hugging on to everybody. I was so happy.
So it's those moments that you just, and I'm picking on you all because you didn't, you know, I mean, I'm kind of like Ava. Okay. Now, as a coach, if I would have won one as a coach, I wouldn't have been the first person to it. I would have let my team. But as a player, because I got very close a couple of times, there was nobody beating me to that trophy whenever I was. If I would've
Ava
been a
told us
player.
before we went out she was beating us to it.
That's awesome. And you know, only senior on the team. So, so what's your plans for next year as far as you play travel ball as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll be playing this summer.
Okay, good. And going to be back. And you play you pitch or anything else, or just
Yes,
first
sir.
base?
I do
Okay.
pitch. I mean, Riley's the star, but just outside of her.
Riley's a star. I like that. So we know where we're at. So now, so going to be a. What's the transition from being? I don't know, at this school it's not that different, but you feel like there's going to be a transition for you going from 8th grade to a freshman as far as on the team?
I think it's just going to be more responsibility. Like, when you're an 8th grader, they're kind of like, oh, she's an 8th grader. Like, they don't expect much. But then you can show them, like, what you're made of, like, what you can do. And then I feel like as a freshman, you have more responsibility to take in the younger girls, to make sure that everybody's doing their job and you're doing yours and you're keeping up with everything.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Mikhail. We have a few more minutes, Coach. Anybody else you want to? I've just been kind of going down the list whenever you. Anybody want to come up here? Any players that want to come up here and talk? Nobody wants to.
We got one more junior. Did we get all the juniors?
Come on up, Hannah.
Hannah.
You know, it kind of surprised me because in soccer, Hannah's usually one of the more outgoing ones. So you don't want to get up here on camera?
Oh, no, you already know. We just let her warm up and get her going. She'll be talking.
Well, let's put it this way. She usually whenever, and I'm not involved with the program as much, but I'm the administrator, okay? And usually she gets a little fired up to the opponents is what it actually what it is. So Hannah, you're a junior. You've been playing softball for a long time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how many years you play softball?
I don't really know.
No, it's been a long time.
When I started.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What position you play?
Second base.
Second base. Okay. So, and talk about the difference between last year in Sulphur and this year for you.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't really in the right mindset last year, I'd say. I did make a few errors, and it was just a rocky start because, we didn't have Riley, and we didn't know what to do, and Ava came in, and she was determined to help us, and she did. She did a good job, but we just weren't in the right mindset. But coming back this year, I was like, it's our year, and they were like, Hannah, you're going to jinx us and all this and all that, and I was like, oh, y'all, we got this.
So playing second base, a lot of double plays in softball?
Yeah.
Okay. So
something we look forward to.
Okay, cool. So I'm not like I said, I'm not all that familiar with it, but you know.
Well, a double play in softball when you have a 6-4-3 or a 4-3, 4-6-3. If you do it that way, and it's not just a line drive double play,
Right.
if you can really turn it and handle the ball well, it's a pretty special thing to happen.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's pretty special because the bases are so close. You just don't have time for the ball to overtake. You can't really bobble or I mean, it's just got to be real smooth. And I think we did more probably last year than we did this year. But I think there's a reason for that.
Well, let me guess. Is it the 221 strikeouts?
Yeah, that might have something to do with
so
it.
I was just I do know enough about athletics and baseball to call that. So, favorite moment not in Sulphur from this season?
Definitely our bus rides. I'd say. Yeah, they're
You're
exciting.
You driving the bus?
That's the assistant coaches have to look out for what's happening back there. I have to focus on the road.
I got you. So, we're talking about next year. I know you said last year you guys weren't in the mindset. This year you were. What's some of your goals going into your senior year?
I think we won 20 games or what was it?
24 total.
24 total. I want to win more than that this year. Win district again, and I'd like to get another trophy. And I want to build the team bigger and show them that we do have a good sisterhood going.
Around the same?
It is the same, but it changed a little bit because of reclassification.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I think Oak Hill and Glenmora are
coming
coming
back?
into our
Okay.
district, which they were in our district, I think, 2 years ago. And then we picked up Harrisonburg and one more. Rapides, maybe? No, Avoy's Charter.
Avoy's Charter. Okay. Well, so did you get a chance to lift the trophy?
I did.
Okay. So we'll see. I mean, they were all telling us Ava's selfish and wouldn't let anybody have the trophy or anything.
I wouldn't say that.
So no. So, Hannah, congratulations. Coach, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to say congratulations to you. I want to talk about, your program. Like you said, you have now 23 potential players now for your trial today. And what you looking forward to for next year?
Well, I think, it's kind of, I guess, preliminary, but after seeing how many kids we had out today, I think one of the first things we're going to do is probably try to put together a junior high team, which we haven't had, so that we have a feeder program that's right here on campus with our 6th and 7th graders. I mean, we still may pick up some of those to play with us, but we definitely want to try to get them going and get some people in here to help coach it and build it up so that we get the numbers.
Yeah.
Because we're going to lose 4 after next year, and when you start looking at, you got to replenish the. You got to replenish the lineup.
Yeah, and it's not always easy to be school.
It's not easy at all. I mean, I'm sure we've had the talks where we know, okay, if we don't get some people, this is what we've got. Okay, and what are we, where are we going to, who are we got? And we start adding it up, and okay, we got to have some more bodies, to work with. But can I say one thing, at the tryouts today, because they're probably not going to get to get up here and talk. I'd just like to say something to some of our kids that didn't get to play a lot. They were junior high players that didn't get to play a lot. And today when we had tryouts, I just want to give a shout out to them at how much better our junior high players that were on the team looked this year. I mean, you could definitely tell the difference between them and the ones who haven't had that much playing time.
That's awesome.
So, it's kind of one of those things when you're comparing. It's what you do as a coach. You compare players to players to see who's going to play what position. But the skill level of this one versus this one, and then sometimes you don't realize, what, she's getting a whole lot better than what she was.
Yeah, and that's
until you compare it back down to where she came from.
Right.
And then you realize, oh, yeah, she is getting a lot better. Sometimes it's not that easy to see when you're looking at it. It's kind of like watching the grass grow. I didn't see it move, but I know it got taller, So I just a shout out to those younger players at how much better they're getting.
Well, Coach, that's good. That's how you build a program. I want to say congratulations to you and your softball team, to Tucker McCoy and his coaches, and Audrey Tarver. What a night that we had a chance to recognize. Parents, thank you. Congratulations for all the work that you put into these programs as well. So he's Doug Gann. I'm Nick Magnano. Have a good night. May the Lord bless you.